A very good evening to one and all as we welcome you to your C Sports update for this evening. Let's start with some news from the world of basketball because Dwayne Virgil scored a game-high 29 points as the Valencia Heat traveled to Pleasantville Indoor Facility to snatch Game 1 of their Moccasin Super 10 Big Four Championship. We have more on this and a win for Quarters over Police in a women's encounter. The fans came out in their numbers, eager to support the home team Petro Jazz, as they have done so many times in the past, with positive results for both. From the jump ball, Jazz were quick out of the blocks. Aku Pascal driving, but it was Michael Pantin who scored the game's first basket. He ended with 8 points on this night. In the second quarter, Stephen Davis was doing damage in the paint with 2 of his 6. The game was tight throughout, with neither team leading in double digits. Kevin Garcia, though, had the fans jumping as he hit this one, much to their approval. And Adrian Joseph again showed his class, drives to the basket for 2 off the glass with the left hand. In the fourth quarter, the difference maker, Dwayne Virgil, stepped up for 2 of his 29 points with this jump hook as the Heat traveled south to beat Petro Jazz 69-67 to take the lead in the best-of-7 series 1-0.
Well, we know Petro Jazz will be coming out with intensity. We just had to amp it up a little more. We had to play the same defense, same offense, patient, because it's our team. We have some key players injured. Right now it's about them, it's about the community, it's about everybody supporting us. So we have to do this. This is our time.
To make it much more difficult, that means we have to go on the road and play much more harder and come down on our mistakes. And you know, our mistakes tonight cost us the game. I believe our players, all of us, wasn't in sync together. You know, we was making communication errors, and in that era, it cost us turnovers, and turnovers cost baskets.
Forward, Jonathan Weeks missed Game 1 due to a broken nose and is expected to be back for Game 2 on Friday with a protective face mask. In the opening game of the evening, Quarters, also playing at home, played Police in Game 1 of the women's best-of-5 version. Katie Connolly scoring here, but Quarters were already leading by 10. American-born Donette Reed going through traffic for 2 more here. Her pace was a bit too much for the Police. Kimfer Phillip scored here to spark a comeback of sorts for Police, who actually took the lead in the fourth quarter. Reed, who played for a couple games early in the season and then returned to the US, came back to score 20 points. But it wasn't going to be a comeback of sorts for Police, as Pietra Gay, who scored 20 points as well, 3 coming here as Quarters held on for a 72-66 victory.
We didn't play as how we would have played or we are accustomed playing, and we need to just put from strength to strength and just regroup and come back again. Of course, because Police didn't play as how Police is accustomed playing. So as long as we play our game, as long as we go work on our strengths and go with that, no problem.
We pulled it together at the end, because I mean it was very, very hot out there. I had a lot of turnovers, but I made up for it at the end of the game. And I'm just happy how my team came together and we dug deep and we pulled it together at the end. Very confident. Now we know how they playing, how they want to play. We know we got to pull through. We may not get a lot of calls like we expected or we supposed to, but we got to play through that. That's how you win ball games. Defense and work past the referees.
Game 2 of the women's series is this evening at the Jean Pierre Complex from 8, and on Friday at Maloney. It's the men's Game 2 as Valencia will look for a 2-0 lead. Hey, well, let's talk a little bit of cricket now because Sunil Narine was at it again today as he continues to mesmerize batsmen in the IPL. He put up another splendid performance with the ball to help his team, the Knight Riders, cruise to a 30-run victory over Bangalore. After being put in by Bangalore, the Knight Riders lost skipper Gautam Gambhir cheaply as they slipped to 5 for 1. But Robin Uthappa led a fight back for the Knight Riders as he stroked an unbeaten 83. It was truly one of the great innings of the IPL. Pathan also chipped in with some useful blows in a breezy 22 that took some of the pressure off Uthappa. But when it was all said and done, it was Uthappa who took control of proceedings and ensured that the Knight Riders posted a sizable total of 195 for 4 in their 20 overs. Shakib Al Hassan also played well for his 60th to boast to the innings. Then Bangalore lost Chris Gayle cheaply again as his torrid poor form continues. And despite a solid 85-run partnership between skipper Virat Kohli and Takawale, which looked threatening at times, The odds favoured the Knight Riders. This pair, though, kept them at bay for a long while as they tried to stay up with the asking rate and played some handsome strokes to make it interesting as the scoreboard ticked over nicely. But Sunil Narayan proved to be the difference as he engineered the breakthrough, first removing Kohli for 38 at 92 for 2. Then in the same over, he also accounted for Takawale for 45 with the addition of just 1 run. Narayan would return later to prize out another 2 wickets in the same over as he ended with 4 for 20 from his 4 overs to climb back to the top of the wicket-taking charts with 20 scalps so far. More importantly, he helped restricting the Bangalore total to 165 for 5, handing the Knight Riders victory by 30 runs and a place in the playoffs as they jump into the top 3. Tight race there. Well, Marcus Joseph finished top scorer in the 2013-2014 Digicel Pro League after he helped his club Point 14 Civic FC come from behind to defeat Neil and Massey Caledonia area in a rescheduled match at the Addo Bolden Stadium. Caledonia took the lead in the 5th minute when Ernel Schultz drifted inside and beat the keeper at his near post to give his team a 1-0 lead at the interval. However, Civic Centre tried to find the equalizer but couldn't find a way past the Caledonia custodian. The Eastern Stallions' last line of defence managed to keep the boys from deep south at bay as they attacked at will. And when he was eventually beaten, it was by an error from his own defence. Civic's Marcus Joseph, though, needed a goal to ensure the golden boot, and he got it to the demise of Caledonia. 2-1, Civic would win this one to finish 4th in their debut season. Meanwhile, Joseph and the members of the Civic FC staff were honoured after the match for an excellent season and bringing good football back to the Southland. Injury has struck Uruguayan striker Luis Suarez, and his presence could be in doubt for the World Cup, which starts in mere weeks. The 27-year-old striker will have surgery today to repair damage to his meniscus, which he injured in training yesterday. In fact, he did have the surgery. Estimates on his recovery range from 15 days to a minimum of 4 weeks. The length of Suarez's layoff is likely to depend on the extent of the damage. But Suarez's mother told reporters that his son is expected to return to action in 2 to 3 weeks. Well, on Saturday, at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Mucurapo, Trinidad and Tobago will clash with Barbados in a men's 2014 15-a-side North American and Caribbean Rugby Association Championship match. Trinidad and Tobago, the reigning South Division champs, will face the Bajans from 4 o'clock at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Last year, the Calypso Warriors lost 26-18 to the USA South in the NACRA Championship final played at the Fatima College ground. Trinidad and Tobago last won the NACRA 15s, the championship back in 2008. They are the reigning NACRA 7s tournament champions. TNT skipper Adam Frederick is appealing for the public support and is urging fans to come out in their numbers for Saturday's encounter. Players making their national men's senior team debut are Jamal Frank from UE, Anderson Joseph from Caribs, and Aaron Rock from Harvard's club. TNT will also play Guyana in this group. Hey, well, let's go back to some basketball now, because MVP or no MVP, the Oklahoma Thunder were not supposed to be so pathetic as they were in Game 2 against the San Antonio Spurs last night, needing a strong performance to fight their way back in the series after losing Game 1. The Thunder got a lesson in team ball and were embarrassed by the Spurs 112-77 in a laugher.
Tony Parker got the Spurs going on a big run.
Yeah, and he continued with the first game as far as attacking the basket. Tony doesn't just attack to score for himself. He has those responsibilities and opportunities, but it's more about getting the team going in the right direction, and sometimes it starts with him being aggressive.
Parker had 22 points. Tough defensive stretch for Kevin Durant.
When you get caught ball watching and you don't have your the ball and the man in vision, it leads to these types of opportunities. And you must know where Danny Green is at all times.
Got burned by Danny Green a couple of times, and then Manu Ginobili.
You know, just walking about, thinking that the worm is going to change just on its own.
Spurs closed the half on a 25-8 run. As smoothly as things were going for the Spurs, it was the opposite for the Thunder as Westbrook and Durant just could not connect.
Yeah, you saw a lot of, I'm going to take it upon myself to get us back in the game. They were not utilizing the team aspect as far as ball movement. You see a lot of contested shots, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. You can't get back into games like that.
They combined to shoot 13 for 40 with 30 points in the game last night. Meanwhile, Green continued to kill them from long distance in this one, hitting his 7th three-pointer of the night. He had 21 points, 7 of 10 from beyond the arc as the Spurs take Game 2, 112-77. They're up 2 games to nothing. And now